Are we in?
You're not on camera, but we're recording.
Are you there?
I'm behind the camera waiting. Are we jumping in? You're a goober.
No, well, I was going to get you to jump in, but no, I'm out of here. See ya.
It's like, no, have me sitting here looking like a loner. So we're doing beers in the shed style.
Yeah, so welcome back to Just a Bit of Banter. I'm Andy from Andy's Inventions. Andy, I've given
Andy's
myself a new name.
inventions. Do you invent stuff now? And
I
I'm Dylan
invent
from Off
bullshit.
Track.
And as Dylan said, this is like a beers in the shed format today. Why is that, Dylan?
Because the travel's quite significant. And unfortunately, I'm way too busy to travel. Andy's normally too busy, but Andy's the poor one that has to do all the traveling. And it's about 40 minutes each way, plus then the filming, about an hour, chatting, probably an hour and a half. So you're looking at the most of your Sundays gone to come and film
it's
a
like
podcast.
45 minutes each way when it's clear. And during the week in the rush hour, it tends to be about an hour. And I know that you guys, you like it when we do it on location, not on site. But sometimes we'll have some of these formats where it'll be like, the beers in the shed, just a bit of banter. We've got the men's shed going. Happy days. So a little bit about what we are. This is just a bit of banter, very low key, bit of entertainment for you guys. You can take us in one sitting. You can break us up into small amounts, listen to us in the car, cutting things relating to camping industry, four-wheel drive, stuff like that.
Yep. Travel, tourism, all that sort of stuff.
Everything all in. Oh, I've got a co-host. I've got a third co-host now. I've got Tilly Dog. I don't know if she's on camera or not.
And what I said
we want
is
to hear from you guys.
And then what I said is I actually want to try and jump them into the actual topics a bit quicker because I've sort of been feeling there's too much buffering at the start. You guys comment below. Let us know if you agree with me and feel that there's been too much not talking about camping, or if you're happy with the buffering, because it is for these legends, right? So they should have their say on what they want to hear.
On not the one that only just went out yesterday, but the last episode, that's going gangbusters. It's doing really, really well. So I'm really proud of you guys. Also, thank you so much because you have got the channel over 400 subscribers now. So that's like for a brand new thing. Thank you so much. And that must mean that you guys think something of it. So we're going to keep going. Tough. We have talked about trying to get this fortnightly. Do you reckon you could handle us on a fortnightly basis? I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Also in the comments, let us know so we have a couple of banter topics normally. Let us know any of the things you'd like us to discuss. I have got the one which I was thinking about this time, but I'm going to pause it one more time, which is the water storage. And I can't remember if that was from Joe or Marg, but I do promise you I have got that in my run sheets. But if there's other topics that you think...
Also, Caravans Around the Campfire reached out to me to see if I had any good suggestions because he's after water storage as well. So it seems to be a pretty hot topic of people want it.
Yeah. So how about next time you and I get together, we definitely do that one.
Yep. Sounds good. Should we get into this one?
Sounds good. Yeah, let's lock into. Well, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe. You can email at andy@andysadventures.com.au because it is for you guys. I was going to do a live lately, but he wants to hop straight in. No, bugger it. Let's just do for tough because you said it's me that controls it. I'm joking. Just really quickly, because it is camping related. What's been going on with you, Dylan? Just a little quick 30-second, 2-minute, whatever overview.
So we've basically been putting in the plants. I think the last one we might have mentioned, we did that we had all the plants coming. So the 198 whatever plants. So they went in and then the irrigation had to happen for that. Soil, unfortunately, I ballsed up massively and ChatGPT told me I would need 100 cube of soil, which turned out to be like 10 grand. So I went, okay, let's try
100 cube of soil.
So then I was going to top dress the whole garden bed. So then I went, okay, let's just build mounds for each plant and let's go 20 cube. So I did 20 cube and now we have like 15 cube of soil piled up on our grass that we just have no idea what to do with. And it is so heavy and so hard to move by hand. So I said to Ash, maybe we get a leaf blower and just sit on the top of the mound blowing the soil across the grass. And then, trying to get it together for a hip camp.
Yeah, I was going to say every time a hip camper comes, what you should do is have like a sandbag or something like that. And part of their entrance fee is they have to fill up a sandbag, move it down to the other end and empty the sandbags slowly. And they could just put it in random places. You get little features, wouldn't be so flat.
Well, it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful organic soil. So like anywhere on the grass that it goes, the grass is going to really boom. It's just the pain in the ass of trying to put it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you don't have any machinery for that, do you?
No, unfortunately, a tractor is going to be around probably. You can get Chinese ones for like 10, 15 grand, but the problem is if they break, there's no parts in Australia, and then you're without a tractor waiting for the parts to come from China if you can find somewhere to get you the parts.
Imagine if someone
Or if
gave you one to review.
maybe I should put that out on my channel. Or
Yeah.
Kubota is one that I'm wanting to go. I don't mind Kubota. They're like a sort of, I'm going to call them more like a Hyundai of tractors.
Oh, I'd say they're
And
a
you're
bit more than that,
around,
but yeah.
yeah, so you're around 30 grand, and then you got to buy the accessories. So probably around 40 grand all in. Versus your John Deere, you're like 150 grand, 200 grand to do a John Deere.
If anyone is listening to this is in the Queensland sort of, I'm just going to say Logan Village style area and has a digger or something like that, that you don't mind lending out as a freebie for a weekend, let Dylan know. I'm sure he'd be
Yep.
appreciative.
We
So,
actually,
and you
funny
can
enough,
message us that.
Ash yesterday said she's done. Next weekend, we're hiring a digger to move the soil.
Oh, really? Would the horse place have one?
The adjusting one up the road. I don't know. Our neighbours hired one, so we'll just get the same one they hired.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's
What
Dylan.
about you?
He's been flat
life
out
with
doing
you?
that. Well, so really quickly with me, it's same old, but I did find a little hip camp last weekend. It was, so some people might know, I go camping a fair bit. Sometimes they're work ones, sometimes they're social. I did this one last weekend and it was called the, double check, make sure I get it right. So it's on Hip Camp.
Is that
It's four-wheel drive.
or because of you cold?
And it's near sort of Palmwoods area, so sort of Sunny Coastway. Oh my God, it's so nice. It is four-wheel drive access only. It's not that it's tough forward driving to get into. It's just there is no way you're going to get into it in a car.
Busy?
But that
Not
was
busy?
really, really good. They have 5 sites in total. They've got one of the sites would be a pig to get it. One of the sites, oh my God, serious four-wheel drive only to get into. We walked up there and we're buggered. And then there's another big open site sort of as you're driving down through kind of thing, which is still four-wheel drive to get to. And then you go down another section and there's sort of like a big open area. It's not flat, so it's really nice. It's undulating. And there's only 3 sites there. So the reality is you can book 3 sites and have the whole bottom area. So that's a really, really nice one.
Is it a hip camp? Where
It's a hip camp.
Yeah.
So you find that one on Hip Camp. I think, I'll be honest now, Hip Camp's the main one that I use. I used to use, oh God, I can't remember. Was it Wiki Camps or something like that? But anyway, that tends to be where I'll find stuff. It's even got a toilet and a shower, which was impressive. It's a very bush toilet, bush shower, but at least you've got something. So if you've got a four-wheel drive, you're living on the north side or not, and you want to go somewhere, go there. Really nice guy, Ryan, that owns it. They're dog friendly, which is good. It's near Palmwoods. So there's loads of stuff in the area. You can go to Montville and all that sort of stuff. So that was me.
So can I put it to these guys, because you brought it up. Actually, do I have to come up with a topic or do you have one for me?
I have the one that you wanted, that you don't know that you wanted, but you wanted. No, you did one.
Okay, then I'll bring it up here. Anybody from New South Wales, can you comment below? I've looked at some campgrounds in New South Wales for the Easter long weekend, and your national park camping is $45 a night per person.
No.
I think it's per person. Yeah. I'm a bit confused. Do you guys still use national park camping? Because like that's hip camp, that's private camping prices versus up here we're $7 per person.
$7.50, that's it, somewhere around there.
So I'm big on, I do national park camping because it's cheap as chips. And normally it's
and
in
it
a
means
good
it
location.
gets you away from the dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But down there, I noticed their national parks, like I'm looking south of Coffs, sort of south of Coffs to Sydney for us doing a little trip. And the national parks aren't on the beach either. Put them like, I don't know, you'd have to get in your car to go to the beach. You can't walk through the bush to get to the beach. They're in all overgrown trees and I'm just thinking, I'm not paying $45 for that.
I'll have to ask Michelle what the place is. We stopped in one, and it was Coffs direction. I'm not very good with the beaches.
So we were looking Southwest Rocks area.
That is amazing for diving. Absolutely amazing for diving.
Just
you got the jail and things like that for when you misbehave.
Apparently.
Yeah, but amazing for sharks. Well, funny enough, you've sort of taken my topic, so we'll keep going. My topic was going to be Easter camping.
Yeah, but yours is...
Oh, not Easter camping. And this is almost an Easter episode. And I just wanted to get a feel for people. Like, it's like we're going away for Easter. and we haven't asked Dylan. And the reason we haven't asked Dylan is it's a kids camping thing.
Yeah, I'm not going. Count me out.
And you would actually, it's like if we had tons of kids and tons of dogs, it's not your cup of tea. So what we've done, and it's just giving people just their thoughts. So I know a lot of time people go, let's all go to, I'll use the example of where we were going. It's called the Barumba Deer Park. We just think we've called it the Deer Park. And then
I've heard of that.
It is really nice. You would love it outside of school holidays. You would love it outside of school holidays. Don't go near it.
Oh,
You personally,
it's a hip camp,
somebody
isn't
doesn't. No. It's what you call just a campsite. It's a campsite.
Who do you book
Yeah,
through?
you just book direct with them. Yeah.
Okay.
And they've got all the deer and stuff like that, and then they've got they do animal feed. It's a really nice place.
Like deer as in you go hunting and kill them and eat them for venison.
Well, one of the people I went with, he was eyeing one of them up, and he went, "Oh, you know what? We could do a hungy with that." But I think that's sort of frowned on. Although it does get to there is a rule. It's a bit of a strange rule where sometimes they have to cull, and so then it's okay. This is where law gets so bizarre. It's okay to kill it as long as you cook it and eat it there. I'm not talking about the public because, that will probably get me in a whole load more trouble with people up in arms. But there is a thing and about culling and all the rest of it. So it's like they can do it, but there's restrictions onto how they can do it. So, well, what's the difference if you don't cook it and eat it here? So bizarre.
Maybe
but it's a really, really nice place.
It falls under farming.
Yeah, I think it is something like that. I don't understand. It's way above my pay grade. But I hit the camera. That wasn't very clever. It's a really good place. Yes, I've got kids, although mine are getting older, but I don't like places that are hectic with kids. So am I a hypocrite? Well, what we do is the year before we book a whole zone. And then, so we have to reach a minimum amount of numbers, which we've done again. And then we have a zone, it's called Yabba Banks, and it's like down at it's one of the back sections. So then the only people in this area are us. So yes, there's still kids, there's still dogs, but it's our kids, our dogs kind of thing. We're by the creek as well, which is really nice.
So can I ask you, because that, I'm sure this will be a big dividing factor for people. You book a year out. So I don't like to book until it's the week leading up because I want to know what the weather's like and I hate losing money. And as you saw from Morton, we all tried to do that meetup on Morton and we all lost money.
I should have gone. So pissed. Anyway, well, we should have gone, but we were led by the others. Anyway.
Do you not have that happen to you very often?
Easter is one of those ones. So the Deer Park is completely sold out. It's been completely sold out for a while. And it is like satellite city in the other areas. So some of the sites are the format, when you get this is your space, and this is your space. And so some are like that. They're all full. Some are you're in an area and you just find a spot to set up and camp. They are full. So it is hectic. It's families and, that's what they want.
But if it's pissing down with rain, are you still going to go?
Yeah, oh, good, yeah. 100%.
See, well, that's the difference. If it's pissing down with rain, I don't go, and then I get the shit sort of lost my money. But then the flip side, we went, okay, maybe we'll try Morton this Easter. I've got the week off after the Easter long weekend, and I went, okay, maybe we'll go across to Morton on the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So after Easter, yep. That's quite a good move.
But the whole west side, which anybody who's been to Morton knows the west side's where you want to camp, all gone, all booked out.
Really?
Yeah. So then that's the flip side. I don't book things. I leave it to the last minute,
and then you can't get somewhere.
Yeah.
So now we're the other reason
down south, and it's expensive.
I'll ask Michelle the name of that one. Actually, a couple of friends of mine, Stu and Brett, they used to live down there where it wasn't Grafton. Anyway, the beach is sensational. So I'll try and find the name of that and let you know the name of that one.
Evans Head.
I'm not sure. One of those ones.
Good story, Andy.
But so for the Easter, we did one, I think it was an Easter time, and we went up to Splitters in Bundy. That's actually got much more popular now. We went there when they very first opened and it wasn't as known, so it was quite quiet. And now it gets, even their off-grid sections get really crazy busy, I believe. And it was raining so much that it was sort of flooding, but me and my fires, the fire pit was built, or the fire pits were so big that I built, that we were heating the water underneath the fires. So we were splashing with our feet in warm water, but everyone still had a great time.
So these guys can comment. So the question is, what do people do for Easter? Is that what the topic is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you book Easter? Because it's so popular to go away. Do you and your friends just go, let's all go to, for example, like what we've done? And do you all book individually? Or is there other people that do what we do and go, let's go to somewhere, let's see if we can get a group booking?
Because I've once done a big group. It was one of Ash's friends and their big group. There was like, I don't know, 50 of us, 40, 50 of us that all went to Fraser Island.
Nice.
And that's the last time I ever did
really?
group camping, because for them it was just, let's stay up late at night getting absolutely fucking blind drunk. Let's wake up in the morning and continue drinking because we feel like crap. And let's just stay underneath all these. Like, they set up a little city underneath tarps because it was raining the whole time. But they literally had gazebos. I think they would have been like 6 gazebos tied to each other. And then each of them had, it's like your tent. You know how you can attach your tent to a gazebo? So then they each had those style of tents that all attached to a gazebo, and you'd come out of your tent into this main area that was, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen for camping, and they just got drunk and partied. And for some people, that's probably enjoyable. I just don't see why you would have paid all that money to go to Fraser Island, and they didn't go and see Fraser Island.
No, we've been on Fraser in bad weather and rain and stuff, but you can still drive to all the places.
So what's funny? Ash and I jumped in the car, went over to the West Coast, spent the day on the West Coast, and it was sunny. There wasn't a drop of rain, no wind, beautiful. Came back, showed them the video, and went, this is what we had all day. And they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, we should have done that.
To go.
Snooze, you lose.
Yeah. But so for me, Easter's
with
more...
Easter.
So for me, it's more an individual. It's just Ash and I go somewhere, but really the last, I think, 2 or 3 Easters, because I leave the booking to the last minute, we end up sitting at home because everything's
And is
taken.
that because the industry's not the industry, but is that because the hobby, as it were, has grown so much since COVID, do you think?
Correct. Prior to COVID, remember prior to COVID, it was just rock up, first in, first dressed. There was no booking online. It was just drive in, you pay your money and you camp. And there were so few people camping that it was never, ever full where you went. So you just packed the car and went. But
so that's like, we had a comment on the last podcast, I think I haven't got the details in front of me, like Blackbeard or something like that. And he was saying that as well. And he wished it was like that, where you just rock up and the rangers would come round in the morning and take your money then, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I guess that's used to be, when I used to go to Strata years and years ago, that's sort of what it was like. Although I think you had to almost do your booking. But there was always I used to like camping in the dunes up there, and there was always spots. It was never that you couldn't get somewhere. And you could go as a group. You're not pre-booking sites, and you would still be able to get a whole area together. You wouldn't be able to do that now.
I've got an interesting question to ask these guys. I think Gav brought it up on the little short podcast that we did, and it's just dawned on me again. Is the issue, like you said, that camping's more popular? Yes, we all know camping's more popular. That's evident. Who cares if it's more popular? That's brilliant. I want more people to get out and see how beautiful Australia is rather than go overseas. But it's the real problem that the campsites didn't grow.
Yes, and I was going to say the same thing. Is it not necessarily even the popularity, but is it that the places are actually getting smaller, not bigger?
Yep. Like, really, when we had the boom in COVID, National Park should have went, okay, we need to cut in a few more bays. We now probably need 3 or 4 times what we used to for the demand, because they can see it's booking out.
Or it's the whole areas that we can no longer camp in.
Yeah. And then
when you talk about the national parks, you've got the ones that you like, is it Mount Warning that isn't too far from here? It's all the ones that you now can't even go to. So where are we? Obviously, there's more people doing it, and there's less places available than there was. And maybe that's why New South Wales are now charging $45 a night per person in a national park.
So
that's nuts.
You know what I also find ironic? National parks whinge that they don't have the money to upkeep the facilities. So is a solution not to cut in more bays? You're maxed out every weekend. Cut in more bays, take in more money, there's your revenue. Is that not how things work?
However, what if they've upped these prices to insane prices, then they cut in more bays and they don't drop the prices?
The price thing There's one thing I want to say about the price thing. You look at somewhere like Bribey, super popular, $7.50 a night. What's stopping you from booking all the campsites around you for $7.50? You could spend $50, take out a whole bunch of campsites, have the joint to yourself. You're not going to
Which is
do
what
that
we
at
do.
50. Yep, you're not going to. Yeah, but you do that and you take people. I'm saying do that and don't
Yeah,
take people and have the joint to yourself. Versus at $45, you're not going to be doing that.
you're definitely not. You're definitely not. But I do think it's a shame it's getting to those prices. Hip camps getting around the 45, 55, I
Hold on.
still feel is expensive.
Hold on, I got a story about that. So then we looked at hip camps for the Easter long weekend. Went, okay, maybe we'll do some hip camps instead of the national parks. Take a guess. What are they charging?
You're probably doing like a 3-night minimum stay, I guess.
This was one night, and it was called
Okay.
Blue Crystal Creek. Just a patch of grass, no amenities, no nothing, on a creek.
Oh, is this the one I've heard of? And it's like $200 a night or something?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
$230 a night. That's a hotel room.
But is that the one where you can have almost as many people as you like and it doesn't change?
No, it still was per person. Two
Because
people, and then you pay extra per person.
there's one that Michelle and I have found, and it looks beautiful and it is insanely expensive, but you can have multiple people on it at that price.
It'd
And
be
then
interesting to know what the cap is.
then we found another one, and yeah, again, I'm not great with exact figures because I wasn't prepped enough, but it was insanely expensive. And I went, it was like we were taking the kids or one or two of the kids or something. This is insane. Why is it so expensive when it says it's from, hypothetically, let's say it says it's from like 50 odd dollars a night. Why is it coming out at like nearly $100 a night? They were charging triple for taking a child because they don't want you to take children. So they're
I
not
love
saying
it.
you can't take children, but they're saying if you're going to take a child, you're going to really want to take it because we're going to charge you through the arse for it.
I might inculcate that on our one. I like that idea. Hey, kids are
Yeah, I can
welcome. We got
imagine.
no problem with kids. It'll just cost you $1,000 to bring them.
And I can see why, because my kids are good. I mean, I'm sure every parent says that, but genuinely ours are pretty good. They're respectful. They muck around, have a laugh and everything else. They enjoy themselves, but they also do the right thing too. Even when it comes down to you need to get a fire going, you can say, right, go get kindling, and then they won't start ripping things off trees. They're looking on the ground and all the rest of it. So they're good ones. But then there's feral.
Hold on. I want to chime in here, Andy. We went to Canungra to film, and there were three kids playing in the creek, and we wanted to just film a thing with the creek, and they were being well behaved. They were having fun playing. They were squealing. They were screaming. They were being horrifically loud, ruining the serenity of the spot. All the people that were camping that didn't have kids had the shits, and it's like, what do? Do you go up to the parents and go, oh, I know your kids are having fun, but can you tell them to like shut up when they're having fun? Like that, you know what I mean? They're not doing anything wrong, but they're still being very loud.
And this is why I would never invite you camping with the kids.
Because I go camping for the peace and quiet, and kids having fun, unfortunately, are very loud.
Me having fun is very loud.
Yes, you are. And at night, you do get quite boisterous.
Yeah, that's a real tricky one. So, well, no, it's not tricky. It's a noise that I think parents, when it's the kids having fun, parents, and I reckon it's probably parents that doesn't have to be parents of those kids. Parents probably have this fine tune ability to not hear that noise because
Yep.
it's children
It's
enjoying
positive.
themselves.
Yep.
And it's not a negative where someone's kids fighting. God, that's annoying when they're like, he stole my bloody. You know what I mean? That's annoying. But when it's kids having
Isn't it
fun,
funny? I find that entertaining, and I'm like, come on, get him, get him, get him, because they're not my kids, so I don't have to deal with it when it all goes to shit.
like I say, people, Dylan's a great guy. You can go camping with him and stuff. If you're going camping with a load of animals, don't take Dylan. And if you're going camping with a load of kids, don't take Dylan.
Dylan goes camping for quiet.
Yeah. So we've got it's funny, we've got a doggy camp that I'm doing, and there is more dogs going than people. So
No way.
it's yeah. And it's funny because I could just see you and we're talking, and like, we love our dogs and our dogs aren't bad dogs or anything else like that. But when they play, oh my God, it is chaos. And they're not disobedient, but when Dylan tells them to sit, it's not a home and out they can do.
But see, because I love dogs. We've been talking about getting a dog here, well, 2 dogs here. The problem I have is when they're disobedient and don't listen, when they bark as well as annoying, or if you take them camping, and this has happened to me, people brought their dogs camping and they walk all over your shit, go into your tent. Didn't Gav's dog steal your food?
No, it was our food.
Yeah.
And he didn't steal all of it. He only had a couple, 2 or 3, I think.
So that's the bit that annoys me about dogs. I believe a dog needs to go camping, it needs to be bloody well trained, not walk over people's shit because it drops fur and it has dirty footprints.
In fairness to Finn, he was on a lead at the time he got the food. So that comes down to, that was my fault, not Finn's.
But Finn wasn't he actually was a pretty good dog. I don't think he barked. He barked a few times, but nothing over the top that was annoying. He was pretty good. He sat down a lot of the time.
I couldn't even tell you if he barked or not. He was a great dog.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But so that was Easter.
That's
our Easter. So the next one is yours, which is the fuel situation.
Beautiful.
And the reason we're doing this podcast is it might come out a little bit sooner than our normal routine. We might be trying to get to fortnightly, but because this is going to be Easter and fuel, it's kind of topical. So this will be out soon from recording. So this is pretty current, this information we give.
So I don't think I've actually sent you this message. I've had 3 people now message me saying, have you heard that the government's about to bring back COVID restrictions and non-essential travel to work from home, and non-essential workers to work from home to save on fuel. But the big one is because it came. So I did some research before this. What I found is the European fuel have said that due to the fuel crisis, non-essential travel needs to be banned, which means everybody's Easter, by the time this comes out, it may have dropped. Hopefully this doesn't happen. They may stop people going away for Easter. And funny enough, I watched, who's the guy down in New South Wales? Adam Smart Touring Systems. So he dropped a video, and funny enough, he mentioned he's hearing it as well, that the government is currently in debates, and he pled with them not to stop the travel during Easter, because so many towns, especially where he lived, depends on people traveling in Easter.
Yeah, so I mean, the working from home, if possible, to reduce the amount of fuel, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yep, makes sense. Should I ask my bosses? Can I just get the stores to send me content and I'll just sit at home?
That's something that you'd be able to do, because you do some of the stuff. But the positive for that is it's a double bonus. So for the people that are able to do that, yes, it's getting them off the road. It's they're not using that fuel and things like that. But for them, they're also not having to pay for the fuel at the inflated prices. So for them, it's actually it's a really good bonus. I'm in the unfortunate situation.
And the whole idea about that is, so you imagine if you take out, let's say, 15%, if we can pull 15% of the people that travel to work to not travel, well, there's a horse walking past our house. There's a chick on a horse that's just going walking past our front yard. But if you can take 15% of the people, get them to stay at home, that's 15% less fuel being bought. That should hopefully drop that price down a little bit, because the demand's gone by 15%. So for everybody else that is still traveling to work, they should be able to buy fuel cheaper.
That would be nice. I just don't see that happening. I know they say they've got the ACCC on it and everything else, but at the end of the day, the price of oil is substantially more than it was. There's no 2 ways about it. That's a fact. And when people say, oh, it's the panic buying, it's putting the price up, it's like, no, in case you're not aware, there is a war going on, and it's in nations where huge amounts of the world's reserves are. So that is going to affect internationally the price of oil. So I don't do politics.
Yeah, but come on, we've got to talk about this one. This one, because he did the Venezuela thing, right? Went in and took that dude for drug-related causes. He was causing lots of drugs to go into America. Now all of a sudden he's come out, we've taken all that oil, we're refining all that oil, and we're going to put it into the American public.
But it was interesting that, I mean, he is hysterical. He is hysterical, non-committal. He wakes up in the morning and goes, what am I going to do today? I'm going to get myself another country.
Because he's now talking Cuba. He wants to go into Cuba.
But that was all part of the Venezuelan thing. So
yeah, because now they were dependent on Venezuela. So now Cuba's struggling. Yeah. So he's offering them a deal, so then he can get their oil.
Cuban's always been a problem for the Americans, kind of thing, with all the drugs and everything else. So in his twisted mind, he's gone, right, I've done, well, not the Venezuelan bit, but getting control of Cuba. Cuba's been bad for such a long time in so many ways, but there's good parts to it, but it's never shone through. So if they can get rid of their dictate, well, mind you, is not being under Trump another dictatorship?
But do you not think so? Is he not going to take over the oil from, is it Iran? Who's he at war with? Iran?
Well, so
I don't know. Israel? One of them.
now you guys comment and let us know, because I'm not great at being up to speed on these things. But wasn't it Israel having a beef with Iran and he's gone, geez, you know what? Let's jump in and let's go in hammer and tongs, like without maybe thinking about the consequences and the costs?
Yeah, I think he's after the oil. I bet you once it's all done, there'll be some agreement that America gets a certain percentage of their oil. I think every war he is starting is to get oil. And what blows my mind, I saw a stat. Australia is the third largest exporter of oil. Did you have any idea that we have oil here? Yes, we're massive, but we've shut down all of our refineries, so we send it all off sea.
Yeah, so
offshore.
we've only got 2 left.
Yeah, and then somebody refines it, and then we buy it back as petrol or diesel. Like, how dumb
is
can
that
we
not
be?
absolutely ridiculous? And aren't our reserves being held overseas as
Somewhere
well?
else.
You know,
Yep.
so they say we've got the
because it's the-
reserves. Well, we
it's the
sort of
same
have
with
the
the-
reserves. We don't physically have them here.
It's the
They've got to
same with
get
the iron
ownership to get
ore.
here.
Do you know that we are the largest exporter
Yeah.
of iron ore, which is what makes steel? And then we buy all the steel back from China.
Yeah. And it's a lower quality.
I understand people are going to go, it's because our labor is so expensive. I'm going to drop
let's
something. I'm
bring
not
this
going to
back to-
say, I don't know. I just want to say one thing about the labor. I met with a person who's looking at building a new product that isn't for sale in Australia yet. And he wants to build it as Australian made, with Australian steel, made in Australia, engineered, all that in Australia. And I said, shit, mate, why wouldn't you get it from China? You'll get it like 1/3 the price. You'll sell more of them because it'll be $500 instead of $1,200. And he goes, because if I put the Australian made logo on it, I can make a bigger profit because people think it's more expensive. And I was like, beg your pardon? So
it's not actually the cost of the materials probably are more expensive. It's the labor costs, which are so cheap there, isn't it?
Yeah, but I actually think
Well, I mean,
the
not
problem
just,
is
but
let's look at Red Arc. Red Arc, huge. The amount that they charge for shit is massive. And they say it's because it's Australian made. I can bet you bottom dollar their profits are bigger than if they brought it in from China. I reckon the Australian made has a profit tax that the companies charge because it's Australian made. We can charge more and make more money. I actually don't think it's that much more expensive. When you factor in shipping from China to Australia, import tax as well is huge.
My Oron Polar Y62, as much as possible on that car is Australian made. I know it's a Japanese car, but that's irrelevant. Where we can, we will always try and support Australian made. Everything that is Australian made on there is a better quality than the Chinesium stuff. So
how do you feel if it comes out that all the Australian made stuff you bought, you just gave them an extra 20% profit, and that's all that the extra charge is going to?
I chose to pay it. So I chose to pay it. People have to make money. So
I know,
but people have to make money.
If somebody can live off 40% margin off Chinese imported stuff, why can't the same people live off 40% margin on Australian made stuff? Why does it have to be 60%?
Because it comes down to volume. So the Chinese stuff will be sold in much bigger volume. It won't be sold to the Australian market. So they can go on a lower margin because they're selling a bigger volume.
So
whereas if it's Australian made, let's be honest, you've got a much smaller market than anywhere else in the world.
Dropped 20% of their profit margin, would they not sell more Australian made?
But there's not the market. So yes, they would sell more. Would they? For a lot of the companies doing the Chinese stuff, like take Open Roads.
Yep.
The awnings and stuff that you do.
Oh, you're talking about international.
So I'd never heard of Open Road until you start doing the review on it. And then because how algorithms work and if I've heard the name and whatever else, it freaks me out, but it is amazing. And now I'm seeing all these other ones, but I'm actually seeing it on international videos that I watch.
Yeah.
So and I'm seeing it on them. So that open roads is worldwide, and they're selling in big numbers worldwide. Something produced in Australia, because you've got to remember, if you're going to ship it out from Australia, then you're adding those shipping costs in.
Correct. Yeah. Then you're screwed.
So you've only got, it's like the secondhand car market over here. You can't buy dirt cheap secondhand cars because the pool of them isn't enough. Whereas if you go to Europe, you've got thousands and thousands more available. So therefore it brings the cost down.
Isn't it funny? We do get off topic a bit, don't we? We were talking about
It was
fuel.
meant to be about fuel and camping. But what are your thoughts? So going back onto that, because rather than leaving it straight away, so going back to that, you were saying how you've heard rumours being said about not travelling
Easter
for
could
Easter.
be closed.
So I feel that would be cool for the government to make, because yes, people need the fuel to go away. Granted, realistically, if you say it's a tank of fuel for everyone that goes away for something between a four day to a week holiday, the amount of money they would have invested in that already with let's keep it to our side of the things and say camping. I'm not talking about hotel accommodation, which is obviously exorbitant. I'm just talking about if you're going on a camping holiday, you've got a few $100s would be your camping fees. It will be a few $100s by the time you've got the family and all the rest of it. So you've got a few $100s there. You know, the money that you'll be putting into all the little local businesses, the bakeries, the this, that, and the other. You might go into the little shops and, you know, you might look at the leather goods and the handmade stuff, go to a market, all of those things, giving money into the economy. And it is the person's choice, especially those that drive a V8 petrol patrol, that they're going to have to pay for the fuel.
Hold on. You cannot whinge. Petrol is $1. What is it? $1.50 at the moment?
Remember, I can only run 98.
Diesel's just hit $3.
Has it really?
Yep.
Has diesel hit $3 now?
Yep. We know from our testing, our cars burn the exact same amount of litres per 100 Ks.
Yeah, they're not far off each other, yeah.
Yep. The only difference is fuel, the price of fuel, and now we're paying...
Yeah, a lot more. Well, I mean, I've got to admit, we're in a fortunate situation where we have a selection of cars. Absolutely love the Patrol to bits. Is it an economical car to run? When I have to do a lot of driving for my work, I take participants and things like that, and no one's near my home, so I use a lot of fuel. It's a lot of stop-start driving, town driving, traffic, all the rest of it. Oh, isn't the right car for that. So we have got, I've actually got an old Corolla, although the aircon doesn't always work. And I've got the Prenti. The Prenti is actually really good on fuel, but it is only a 2-seater. And I can't get some of my participants into it because, you know, their abilities can't quite climb up that high, but love the car. So a lot of the time, it's the old Corolla that gets used now, because it's like, well, literally, we don't earn any extra money, but the amount of fuel, if you're using, I tend to go through at least a tank of fuel a week, realistically.
So can I ask, so anybody that doesn't know, you do NDIS stuff, right? So the NDIS hasn't allowed, so the government hasn't allowed for, and they've caused this, let's be fair, the government has caused this by not holding enough fuel here. They're not giving you extra money, even though the price of fuel, is it almost doubled? Well, for you it hasn't, but for diesel, it's almost doubled.
Well, I mean, I would be in a diesel. No, they haven't. I would say, though, the problem is, it's not just what I do, it's no one's wages have gone up. So no one's income has gone up.
Yours involves a lot of and yours has, do you charge like cents per kilometre? Is that how it works?
So there is a charge. So there is a charge per kilometre, it's similar to, like, you know, when you use your car for a company, there's a fee, or it's a cents per kilometre, and that's to cover your insurance, your tolls, your wear and tear, your servicing, your fuel, your everything else. And if you're in I mean, that's all changed. I was going to say, if you're in an economical car, you know, you're about okay, and then some of the others, you're not necessarily okay. Now, with the cost of fuel,
But the other interesting one will be tax in July, because the car deduction is 90 cents per kilometre for tax. Is that going to go up for this financial year? Because now the running costs, because obviously I claim a lot of the travel like that I do for YouTube. If I go and film somewhere, that's tax deductible. That needs to be significantly higher this tax year. And
it won't be.
If the government doesn't change it, I'm just going to put on more kilometres. And if they want to take me to court, go at it. They won't win in court because the cost has gone up to doing these kilometers. So that had better change come June 30.
So I think what I will do is I'm going to apologize to all of you guys because we've just realized this episode has gone very different, which isn't our normal thing. But the fuel,
I think a lot of people feel this way.
Oh yeah, they will. They will, and it would be interesting. I really hope people do comment their thoughts because everyone hears different things. Like I hadn't heard about the potential no traveling thing, but I had heard about the if you could work from home. That's good. I think working from home is a great idea if you can, But it's like I'm meant to be going to England in end of May. I didn't even know the war was happening. I was in Bribey. I had no idea. And I came back and Michelle said, there's a war on. I went, what? I said, that'll all be over. And it's still going at the moment. And so Emirates, their refund policy was up until the end of March. And I noticed I just happened to check it the other day and it's going into mid-April now. So there's a lot of unrest around the world as to what's happening. It doesn't affect me personally, apart from the cost of fuel. I'm in my own little bubble and have no idea. I have no desire not to go away for Easter. I look forward to it. I'll have a great time. It's my downtime. Everyone's downtime looks different. So I know, for example, Dylan's downtime is away from the kids and animals, and I completely get that. If I didn't have the kids, there is no way I would be going to these places because why would I? I would go somewhere I would still want the dogs, but
Can I ask you a question? You did just say you have no plans on staying home for Easter. So even with the fuel prices, if they continue to go, if petrol gets up to $3 a litre, will you still go?
100%.
See, isn't it funny?
I need that break. And I have to make it work. And it's only
what
over.
Do you think Dylan's thinking?
Your spreadsheet doesn't it? But so for me, it's like, yes, it's really bad. And yes, I'm going to feel like I've been spanked again. Sorry, losing that PG again. But I think if I go figuratively, say it costs me an extra $100, I'm guessing. So say it costs me an extra $100. In the scheme, that's just for that Easter. I'm not talking about ongoing. I'm talking about just for I'm going, you know what? I'm still going. I still need that downtime.
So
and at least it's not for if it was an overnight, then you'd be going, oh, Jesus, it's going to cost me $100. I'm only going for the one night. And then I've still got to do X, Y, Z. I've got stuff I'm building in the garage for Easter because we organise games and stuff like that. So so I will be there. I might be the only one there. Well, no, my family.
I've got Bribey booked. So we're filming. That's work. I'm filming a new thing that these guys will see coming. But then the following week is our holiday, and we were literally going to take time off YouTube as well. And nothing's booked. And at $3 a litre to take the cruiser, it'll probably be the Mazda that we go camping in.
Yeah.
And there's going to be
you've proved you can do, as long as you're camping with people who aren't.
Yeah. And it's going to take some serious, because the problem is if I go away and it's still going to cost us a bit of money in the Mazda, still want to go somewhere nice. And then the Mazda restricts you on where you can actually go.
So you guys let us know.
I'm feeling my Easter is probably going to be cancelled.
So you guys let us know your Easter plans. Are you considering yourselves putting them on hold, or are you going, I'm doing it? And give us an idea. If you're going away, what's your distance or hourly sort of, how far are you looking at traveling to go away for that Easter break? That would be interesting to know, because we're going to be, I think it's about 3 hours, roughly, something like that. Some people go more, some people go less. No, but how far are you thinking of being in the car for Easter?
Adam's smart touring system literally said, so he was going to go to Tassie. He had it all booked.
Wow.
He was waiting to get the return barge, because apparently it's really hard to get the barge tickets. And he got emailed saying, hey, there's been some cancellations. There's now a return barge on the one you want to get on. And he said no, because of the fuel.
Yeah. Well, that would be, so that's potentially different. When I said for mine, it's an extra $100 for a trip to Tassie, you could actually be looking at an extra $1,000 in fuel. Without being funny,
be more.
No, an additional 1,000.
Yeah, but I reckon there and back, it could add on, for a diesel going from, it was under $2 a litre to now it's already at $3 and creeped. Every day it's going up 10 cents. I'm not exaggerating.
Is it really? See, I live in a bubble. I'm on the road all the time, every day, and I don't see this because I'm in denial.
So can I ask you a question though? What's diesel made from?
Oil.
What's petrol made from?
Well, it's the same.
So why is diesel going up 10 cents a day and petrol's not.
And isn't diesel a less refined product, essentially?
Yes, that's
a whole different subject. Hey, on a completely different note, but fuel related, because I made a note of this if I can find it. There has been some really funny fuel memes going around. Have you seen any?
No, but I will drop. Hey, I've got something. This video that I'm filming after we get off this, and hopefully getting up sometime today, we're giving away a $150 free fuel voucher.
Excellent. That'll get me to the server.
I don't know how much that'll get you.
I've got a couple of memes. I'll see if I can find them so I can pop them on the screen because I didn't save them. One of them was a mate of mine, and he had one. He was really pleased. He paid only $90 for a tank of fuel. You've always got to find the positives. Filled a whole tank of fuel for $90. And he goes, admittedly, it was for the lawnmower, but I'm trying to stay positive. And then what was the other one? Call the police, I've been robbed. Yeah, where are you? I'm standing by pump number 4. And then another one, actually, one of our listeners sent us. Oh, it's raining outside. One of our listeners sent us. It was caravanning in 2026. You got a caravan being towed by a horse. So that's been us at just a bit of banter. The second one became a bit of a rant and a bit of a. We did get a bit off track, which is that's your fault. You're off track. And
but it was a political topic,
I do believe that at the beginning of this, Dylan said about us staying on having a forward drive topics. We went way off. I appreciate you being along for the ride. I got a message yesterday. One of the comments yesterday. Someone came across the podcast. Now, I reckon this person deserves a medal. They came across the podcast. They binged all 4 episodes. Like, kudos to you. I couldn't
That's
do
like
that.
How many hours?
It'll be over. I think the really long one was an hour and 20 minutes. And then I think the shortest has been 40 something. And they tend to be about an hour. So it's going to be a 4-hour stint. So I hope you were just in the car on a long journey because you're trying to get away before the cost of fuel goes up anymore. Actually, on that really briefly, so on Michelle's new car, but it's got some quirks to it. But the funny thing is, so Spotify, like it doesn't have CarPlay and it doesn't have Android. It's got Google, which I'm not an Android person, but so a Google person. So the Spotify in the car is apparently my Spotify. So then it means that now she can listen to just a bit of band. Oh my God, it's together. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm now having to shout because of the rain.
Can you send some rain this way? We need some rain. It's still hot and sunny.
Oh, no, not here. It is, it's hammering down. And of course, I'm in the shed. Although it's insulated, it gets pretty loud. The dogs don't care. But yeah, so she now listens to just a bit of banter when she's in the car. So for those of you that are interested, great way if you save it on the Spotify thing in a car, if you know more about technology than me, and then you can listen to us when you're driving. It's really good to have on in the background. And we're still aiming for 500 by Easter.
I think we should. Went really fast and then sort of slowed a bit.
Yeah. So Andy's Adventures, that's hit 500, I think. Oh, no, sorry,
Really?
I lied. It had hit 499. So I'm confident by the time that these guys see this, Andy's Adventures will have hit 500. Which thanks very much again. That is awesome. I don't know. It's had a huge growth. Like, I'm quite surprised. No, it was always above this because it's been going for a long time. But it wasn't much above this. Yeah. And then this sort of caught up, and then for some reason the other one's got a bit of traction, and Andy's Adventures is going. Andy's YouTube? Adventure videos, yeah. Andy's Adventures, they need to be going away and filming stuff for that one. It'd be good if they could both keep growing. But yeah, that was just a bit of banter.
If there is a lockdown, we now both do YouTube for work, so we get to still go because it's part of work.
Yes, I can still go camping.
So if it does happen and everybody's not allowed to go to Morton, I'm going to Morton.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up not a time lapse, but I'll try and do one of those like, oh, this is so sad. So when we go out for the dogs, we put on dog TV.
Jesus.
Sometimes. So they've got entertainment. I could set up a couple of cameras and just film and have it as like a 10-hour loop. And then people who can't go camping could put that on. And then my watch hours would go through the roof.
Make them feel like they're camping.
Yeah, and I'd hit monetization. So just to let everyone know, it's not that this is about the money or anything else. It is a little goal of mine that I would just love to see if I can get there. So I didn't even know if we'd be able to get the subscribers, first of all. And in fact, we're very nearly there. Well, Andy's Adventures has made it. And I really want I don't understand what I can do to make it get there before Easter, but there's a chance it will. And that would be awesome. And then it comes down to watch hours. And I understand that if I only do this monthly, there's not enough for you guys to watch for it to get there. So would you be able to handle listening to us or watching us weekly? Let me know. Not
So
weekly,
I know
not
how you
weekly,
can get the watch hours up, Andy.
but nightly.
You need to do a short on somebody's channel that's closing in on 20K subscribers and ask them just to leave it running in the background. Do you know any YouTubers with almost 20K subscribers that you could ask to chuck up a live, short?
I do. Is it that work?
Well, I had my subscribers doing it for my podcast. I said to them, can you please jump on and subscribe? And then
I was one of the ones that, and I even said to you, I said, because you were in Harvey Bay at the time, and I said, why don't you just set a camera up recording? So it's a really long thing, and then we'll just play that.
And it worked.
That was my... Did it work?
We were done in a week. We were on to monetization.
Really? Ooh. All right, I'll chat to you off air on that.
Next time we hang out, we'll do a short.
Yeah, sounds good.
But I've got a week, so let's wrap this bad boy up.
It's been beers in the shed. It's been time for him to spend a penny. And enjoy your Easter wherever you go, whether you're at home or away. Let us know. Thanks very much. Cheers. See you.
See ya.
I can still see you. Don't be on camera.